This time, I would like to introduce 10 anime whose first episode is so interesting that you will want to watch the rest of the episodes. Let's get started! The first work is To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, produced by MAPPA. It is the same company that produced Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan final season. The first episode of this work is really interesting, and the genre is dark fantasy. The story is about an army that is outnumbered in a war, and in order to break out of the situation, they use a forbidden technology to transform humans into deformed soldiers. They became deformed soldiers and were called incarnates because of their strength. But one day, an incident occurred in which the power of one of the soldiers went out of control, and the incarnates were told that the war was coming to an end, as they lived their days with the fears that they too would lose their reason and go out of control. The story is interesting with a series of shocking developments, and I think you will be quickly drawn into this sad tale of the weakness of the human heart that leads people to call heroes monsters or beasts in order to win a victory in a war. The second work is Sakugan, produced by Satellite, the same production company that produced Fairy Tail. The genre is science fiction adventure robot. The theme of the story is the distant future, and people are living in a colony. One day, a young girl who is a genius and her father, a former skilled marker, pioneer, who wants to leave the colony and explore the undeveloped labyrinth, are living an ordinary life when a monster appears in the colony, and they decide to go outside the colony. The first episode of this work is a wonderful story of a family love, and it is the start of a masterpiece. The storyline from that point onwards is a matter of taste, so please, watch the first episode anyway. The next work is number 6, produced by Bones, the same production company that produced My Hero Academia. This work is a near-future SF story that takes place in an ideal city. The story is about the main character, a boy named Shion, who lives in the ideal city number 6. One day, he met and saved a mysterious boy named Nezumi who was injured. And this started a story that is too sad to be called the fate of boys who grew up in completely different circumstances and were not supposed to cross paths. I chose this work because of its interesting storyline in the first part of the story. There are some parts that give the impression of boys' love, and the last part of the story is rushed. So there are some pros and cons to this work. The fourth work is Kado, The Right Answer, produced by Toei Animation, a company with a long history that has produced numerous animations, the most famous of which are One Piece and Dragon Ball. The genre of this work is SFCG animation. The story is about a mysterious, gigantic cube with a side of over 2 kilometers that suddenly appears on the runway of Haneda Airport, and a passenger plane is swallowed up by the cube. Human beings try various experiments on the mysterious object that suddenly appeared, but they can't even hurt it. Then, a staircase appears at the top of the cube, and a mysterious figure appears. The latter half of the story and the CG characters may not be so good according to your tastes. But if you are interested, please watch the first episode. The fifth work is Kotoura-san, produced by AIC Classic. The genre of this work is a school fantasy romantic comedy. The genre and the character design seem cheerful and fun, but the first episode is quite pessimistic. The story is about a girl who can hear the voices of others and is hated by her friends and family because she can hear their voices. Her parents tell her, "I should never have given birth to you," and abandon her. And she gradually begins to live at a distance from the people around her. One day, she has a fateful encounter with a boy at a new school. Anyway, the first part of this first episode is very serious, and it draws you into the story. From here, the anime is interesting all the way from the first episode. The sixth work is Attack on Titan. This dark fantasy depicts a world where titans eat people and control everything, and is sure to draw you in with one of the most desperate episodes in anime history. The story begins one day when humans are living inside a giant wall in fear of the Titans, when a super-sized Titan appears and changes their daily lives. The design of the Titans is creepy, and the spectacular music and tragic events in the last scene of the first episode will definitely make you want to watch the rest of the series. The world view, including the music, is wonderful, and the drawings by Wit Studio are very impressive. This is the production company that also produced the now popular Spy Family. If you keep watching until the second half, the story from the first half will be connected, but the latter plot is unexpected. So please, watch it! The seventh work is The Promised Neverland, produced by Cloverworks. The story begins with the daily life of 38 children being raised in an orphanage called the House. One night, Emma and Norman visit a place they were taught not to go to in order to deliver a lost item to a girl who is leaving for her foster parents, and they witness a shocking truth. The film is produced by the popular Cloverworks, so of course, the artwork is very impressive. The company also produces Spy Family and Bocce the Rock. The most impressive feature of this film is the ingenious use of imagery, such as the characters' expressions of despair and the daring use of out-of-focus shots to create a disturbing atmosphere. And the conversation between Emma and Norman after they learn the truth and the background music are truly chilling. The eighth work is Erased, produced by A1 Pictures, and other famous works are Sword Art Online and Blue Exorcist. I consider this work to be synonymous with the kind of work that you can't stop watching once you've seen the first episode. First of all, the genre is time reversal suspense. The story begins with the protagonist, who has been experiencing revival, a time-lapse ability that allows him to go back in time from 1 to 5 minutes before something bad happens and solve accidents and crimes on a daily basis. This story is about a 29-year-old young man who goes back to his elementary school days with his present consciousness and struggles to prevent an incident from happening. The ninth work is Higurashi When They Cry, produced by Studio Dean. There are various series of this work such as Go, but there is no problem if you watch them in order. The genre is mystery horror, and the story takes place in a village deep in the mountains at the end of the Showa period. A boy from the city moves into the village and gets involved in strange incidents and tragedies. The first part of the episode is quite pop and cheerful, but the gap in the second half is so deep that you will be drawn in. The story is a masterpiece that I highly recommend you to watch. The last work is called Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion, produced by Sunrise. Sunrise is a company that is famous for its Gundam series. First of all, I would like to say that Code Geass Lelouch of the Rebellion is one of the best episodes in the history of anime. The genre is robot brain battle. The title of the first episode is The Day the Majin Was Born, and it starts off with the main character, a young boy named Lelouch, getting involved in an incident caused by terrorists and meeting a mysterious girl there. The opening scene depicts Lelouch's boyhood, and the opening line, "I will destroy Britannia," gives me goosebumps. And there is a chess scene in the beginning where Lelouch is overwhelming. And there it is depicted that the main character is characterized by his smarts. I think you will be fascinated by the way Lelouch uses his brain and acts in the subsequent development. And what's more, the scene where he meets the mysterious girl C2 and is given the ability of Geass, and the expression on Lelouch's face when he understands that he has obtained the power is seriously not only the best episode ever, but one of the best anime ever that you cannot stop watching once you've seen it. So please, watch it! That's it for today! See you soon!